coalition for a brighter future.
TAF Africa Global is the first and biggest private estate developer in the Gambia and present in 7 other African countries. We take pride in leading innovation in all spheres of real estate sector in the Gambia and beyond. As such, we are launching the development of the first smart and modern office and retail towers in the Gambia called TAF Twins. The TAF Twins is located in the heart of the Kanifing institutional area and 10 minutes drive away from Banjul. TAF Twins is designed to have 5 floors of office spaces ranging from 50 square meters to over 1,000 square meters with 2 elevators, central air conditioning, 24 hours electricity and water supply, with the ground floor reserved for banking, supermarket, restaurant and coffee shop. For your bookings and reservations, please call now on 376-2333 or 776-2333. Thank you.
It's a warm reception here in our studio Serekunda, Star TV News with me, Sarah Kamara. In the headlines tonight, President Barrow hits the campaign trail with glad tidings for Gambians. EU deploys 16 long-term observers ahead of December polls. NPP give 19 tractors to Kafolo communities to enhance yield. And on the international scene, Biden to visit ports to bid to resolve U.S. shipping crisis. China struggles to contain Delta variants of COVID-19. In Philippines, COVID-19 curbs puts unemployment rate at 8.9% in September. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. President Adama Barrow has on Monday begun his official campaign in the North Bank region with glad tidings for Alkalolu, who he revealed would enjoy a $3,000 monthly salary beginning this January. More details in this report by our presidential affairs reporter, Maria Madem.
The National People's Party, under the leadership of President Adama Barrow, on Tuesday left Banjul to rural Gambia on an official campaign ahead of the 2021 presidential election. The president, with his entourage, received a rousing welcome by a jubilant crowd, including religious leaders, alcalos, and chiefs at Barra. President Barrow conducted his first meeting at Fas Amar Saho, where a massive crowd assembled to manifest their love and support for the president come December 4th. They also took the opportunity to make their developmental needs to be known to the head of state who is vying for re-election. Among the issues raised by the people of Fas Amar Saho was access to good roads, healthcare facilities, and electricity. In response to their needs, the Gambian leader promised to address their challenges when given the chance to rule the country for another 5 years.
am nañ 1,800 alkali kon maa ngi wax alkali yi ne woto mbaaf la banko alkali le ko jëlee ko on the 1st of January 2022 ko ka ko ci jëli de karo 2022 President Barrow def na leen ci budget Gambia bi dañ leen a fay salary su weer bi dee ngeen jël seen salary ni waa Gambia yëpp di jëlee seen salary.
He also revealed that all village heads across the country, known as alcalos, will start receiving a monthly salary of $3,000 by January 2022. This, Barrow said, is part of the 2022 national budget approved by the National Assembly. Meanwhile, speaking at Ndongo Share and Kuntaya, President Barrow announced that his government will introduce health insurance coverage for Gambians. On youth matters, the NPP flag bearer noted that his administration, in conjunction with partners, will provide $50 million to strengthen the fishing sector by providing sufficient fishing boats, storage facilities, and as well training young Gambians on how to fish. This, President Barrow believes, will reduce the rate of youth unemployment in the country and halt young people using the deadly road to Europe. President Barrow thanked his supporters for backing him since he assumed the presidency in 2017 and called on Gambians to vote for him for a security, stability and economic growth among other development projects. Mariam Adem, reporting for Star TV News from the North Bank region.
The European Union has deployed 16 long-term election observers across the country barely 3 weeks before Gambians elect their presidents. More on this report.
The observers will be mirroring the electoral process from pre-election to post-election. The deputy chief of the observer mission, Beata Martin Rozumitovic, said the observers will remain in the country till mid-December, while the team of analysts will stay till December end to enable them issue their preliminary report on the presidential election.
We, as the core team of analysts and our service provider, will be here until the end of December, 22nd of December provisionally. And after election day, within a certain period of time, we will issue a preliminary statement that will provide our assessment of the elections, followed by a final report within 2 months that will also have recommendations on how the electoral process can be improved in the future and how different activities can contribute to that. From Banjul to Birkama and all the way through to Janjanbureh and to Basse, and so I think we will get a very representative picture of the situation both before, during and after the election process.
Whilst expressing hope and desire for a successful mission, Mrs. Martin said the exercise will be guided by international standards, national laws and international commitments made by the country. She explained that the EU mission has constructive working relations with partners and stakeholders.
We very much look forward to being here in the Gambia. We've had a very warm reception. We have a very constructive relationship with all of the stakeholders so far, and we really look forward to making an important contribution for the further democracy and the further development in the Gambia as the citizens of this country desire.
Meanwhile, the battle lines for the December general election were over the weekend drawn with 6 candidates vying for the nation's top job. Jacqueline Coley for Star TV News.
The NPP over the weekend distributed 19 tractors to some women and community development Kafolo in 3 regions of the country. The idea is to promote the mechanization of agriculture sector to enhance crop yields. Details in this report.
President Adama Barrow is currently intensifying efforts for the mechanization of the agriculture sector to enhance yields. The Gambia government, under the stewardship of President Barrow, is exploring several opportunities, including massive investments in agriculture to propel the country forward in its march towards attaining food self-sufficiency. An influential figure of President Barrow's NPP, Honorable Siaka Jatta, was at the weekend leading the distribution of the tractors to several farming communities in the LRR, CRR and URR. 19 tractors have been distributed across 3 regions of the country. Abbas Sanyang, the governor of CRR, said several Kafolu have benefited from the initiative, suggesting the gesture was just the beginning of more to come.
Untaru Jakaba, Lamen Koto Yurwa, Women Yurwa Kafo, Women Yurwa Kafo, and in Jakaba, Pusabul Alewale Harje, follow. Nabunya be mbole si be ngoto jambi anonje kita ko sate wala ngamenu to fote ibebe representing janne anyama.
Honorable Siaka Jatta meanwhile said several communities in North Bank, Central River, Lower River and Upper River regions will benefit from the initiative as its distribution reaches the various regions. According to Mr. Jatta, one of the tractors have been delivered to Jakaba 3 days after the adoption of Maimuna Sise and Lamin Sedi as honorary father and mother, describing it as a fulfillment of prayers for the two. He promised that more are coming as government has completed the process of needs assessment. Presidential advisor Jatta noted that Barrow is a servant of the people and he derives great satisfaction from rendering service to the nation and humanity.
Jakabankol nata numpurukana Maimuna Sise mutabati aning Lamin Sedi ko mutafati.
Jakaba yehino boyani nangoygol Maimuna Sise da nangugol Lamin Sedi kadi baba.
Yake woke tenel nule jumalung trakito fundita purkadi Jakabankol.
Teneng
Talato.
Talata
jumalung trakitol fundita pour kadi jakabal
tracteur ji ɗi kadi punti pour ɓe gokka jakaba
ite laduwa jabita bakel
wayno jakaba du amu en jaabima
dol fanantaɓe ko mala atara process o ñimɓe on le mansakundalo ne ko dulamen ɓe lafiri menna
woɗɓe ɓen kadi ha hande woodi tracteur ji ɗi gandanta ɗinne garat jottoyo e dulaji goɗɗi kono tawa ko ɗiɗo goni force garɗi ɗi
konko to enamuna faye bulo ko a faye domoro fela
e ñalaɗo noon ɗo he a wi ɗum sooɗo wi ɗum arñam
barin si kukilin karafa ñanin koluma
kono oyi en halfina hunde wotere
in sa karafa siyararun koluma
ɗum halfina CRR
pour ñin kama yalon ko président hakkiloɓe kanne
Mr. Jatta said, despite the fact that the country is heading to the poll, the president's objective is not political, but he has an appeal for his kith and kin.
fe jamala ɓe koma men ɓe alu walinna
ko ɓuri ɗum ɗo heew guluje walla million ngaji ɓawo ɗin fof ɗi garat mbe
fenne walin kam fembe walin kam
wayno eɗen peemani hunde kadi en feemani
wolom décembre karotilin nani
wayno balɗe 4 lewru décembre
président Barrow mañindi ko alɓe carte ole fayla walla alkana fayaye
Barrow addirani ɗi okka en pour beddani ɗum carte walla wata en beddano ɗum
mo me yalon ko carte be fay kan yin ngani anyim maso nin carte fayta no seto to be fenkela men tambita nyen
odo ima okka okkirani ma ada ɗum ferano carte kono si a ferani ma ɗum misiki o okkan ma ko ɓuri ɗum ɗo
nsi wasi ali badi ya kan aliem fasa.
Meanwhile, some Kafolu and communities in the LRR have also benefited from the presidential tractor largesse because after holding meetings in Badibu Kerawan in the NBR, Tuba and Makati in the CRR, and Taibatu in the URR, said Honorable Siaka Jatta and delegation went to LRR where they continued with similar meetings and tractor distributions. Presidential advisor Honorable Siaka Jatta, in summing up his impression of the various engagements, said he was impressed with the reception and that it was an indication that come December, President Barrow will sweep the poll. Meanwhile, President Barrow is currently leading the charge for his re-election as official campaign began. Jacqueline Coley for Star TV News.
Those were the local stories. We'll be back with the international news immediately after the short break.
Gambia, Angola, China Holding, GASH, producers of the finest tomato paste in the Gambia. Jaja tomato paste, available in 5 kilos, 1 kilo and in sachets. For wholesale and retail, visit our factory at Banjulambing. We are also producers of Jaja mineral water, cool, clear and fresh. GASH, Gambia, Angola, China Holding, with headquarters at Fatu Golden Plaza, Mile 7, Bertel Harding Highway. GASH Group also provides the best security company, GASH Security, for your offices, warehouses, homes and personal property. GASH Group for all your construction projects, offering you quality water reticulation for your gardens, pump irrigation, tidal irrigation projects and all types of buildings. You can contact GASH on 396-7894, 700-8993, 373-0259. Visit us at GASH.
When I came to power in 2017, my main focus and thinking and direction was to develop this country. Infrastructure was lacking behind. That's why it was our main focus.
What we have completed within these 4 years is almost equivalent to what has been done almost in this past 50 years or so.
Adama Barrow has to his credit a number of impressive bridges and roads infrastructure projects which were initiated and completed in record time as part of efforts to fulfill campaign promises to shape and modernize Gambia's infrastructure outline. By the end of 2020, President Barrow's government achieved 100% completion of the primary road network along the north and south banks of the country as set out in the National Development Plan, NDP, which is 818 kilometers, but also covering all the way to Fatoto, making a total of 168 kilometers. Along the newly constructed Basse to Fatoto Road, 2 bridges, at Chamoy and Suduwal, 25 meters and 32 meters long respectively, have been completed as of July 2021. In Basse, a 250 meters long bridge, and in Fatoto, a 170 meters long bridge have been completed by July. Since independence, many of these rural communities were completely cut off from the rest of the Gambia. But thanks to the visionary leadership of His Excellency President Adama Barrow, rural communities today are not only part of the greater city-state concept, life and rural economy have also seen a turnaround for the better. From rural to suburban areas of the greater Banjul area, as well as the capital Banjul, more road projects are being initiated to boost commerce, ease communication, and lift people out of poverty. Surely and truly, President Adama Barrow has kept his promises to the Gambian people. For continuity of massive development projects, vote President Adama Barrow and the NPP-led coalition for a brighter future.
CAF Africa Global is the first and biggest private estate developer in the Gambia and present in 7 other African countries. We take pride in leading innovation in all spheres of real estate sector in the Gambia and beyond. As such, we are launching the development of the first smart and modern office and retail towers in the Gambia called TAF Twins. The TAF Twins is located in the heart of the Kanifing institutional area and 10 minutes drive away from Banjul. TAF Twins is designed to have 5 floors of office spaces ranging from 50 square meters to over 1,000 square meters with 2 elevators, central air conditioning, 24 hours electricity and water supply, with the ground floor reserved for banking, supermarket, restaurant and coffee shop. For your bookings and reservations, please call now on 376-2333 or 776-2333. Thank you.
Welcome back after that short commercial break. If you are just joining us, this is Star TV News in our studios here in Serekunda. Now we bring you news beyond our borders. The coronavirus pandemic is creating excessive delays in U.S. shipping, with some importers warning that Christmas gifts could be late. The backlog is such a problem that President Joe Biden will visit port facilities on Wednesday to announce plans to untangle the mess. Al Jazeera's Bob Reynolds reports from Port of Long Beach in California.
At least 100 giant cargo ships are floating in limbo off the Southern California coast, carrying billions of dollars worth of goods they can't unload. It's the most visible sign of today's global supply chain crisis.
We have never seen the volume of containers we're seeing today. We are busier than ever. We are at full capacity. But the warehouses are also fully subscribed.
The ports of LA and Long Beach are the largest in the U.S., handling about 40% to 1/2 of all imports, mostly from China. But due to COVID-era online spending sprees by American consumers, staffing shortages, and sheer lack of storage capacity compared to the volume of shipping, the ports are jammed, even after ramping up to 24/7 operations.
The pandemic had the effect of impacting every segment of the supply chain all at the same time. On top of that, the pandemic triggered heightened demand for goods overseas from U.S. consumers. U.S. consumers are buying goods at a historic pace.
U.S. President Joe Biden has allocated government funding and is urging more coastal ports, warehouses, trucking companies, and other links in the supply chain to work 24/7 to solve the problem.
We have to take action now, together with our partners in the private sector, to reduce the backlogs that we're facing.
The winter holiday gift-giving season is fast approaching. So what's on board all of these ships stuck out in the harbor waiting to unload? Well, there's clothes, computers, furniture, electronics, and, of great importance to parents and grandparents everywhere, toys. Isaac Larian sells toys, lots and lots of very popular toys. Kids can't get enough of this.
Can't get it.
His MGA Entertainment Company includes gotta have it items like LOL Surprise, Bratz, and many others.
So this not surprise, Lily Cat's kitty cat camper. We have research. It's going to be a hottest toy this year. Hottest toy this year. Over 70% of the demand is sitting on boats and containers in the China factory. They won't make it for Christmas. And I'm talking about the supply chain logistic nightmare.
The snarled supply chain is slowing down global economic growth and boosting inflation. Now it might mean a lot of disappointed kids.
I love children more than I love toys. My advice to consumers, whoever is watching this, please go and shop early.
Experts predict the crunch will persist well into next year. Rob Reynolds, Al Jazeera, Long Beach, California.
China's zero COVID-19 policy is showing strain as health authorities struggle to contain the growing spread of the Delta variant. At least 1,000 locally transmitted infection has been reported since mid-October in 20 provinces, prompting strict quarantine period and area-specific lockdown. The onset of winter in China North is also helping disperse the disease. Al Jazeera's Katrina Yu reports from Beijing, China.
A Chinese city on the border with Russia is turning to unconventional means to control COVID-19. It's offering a reward of $15,000 to anyone who can help trace the origin of the latest outbreak. Heihe city officials have declared a so-called people's war against the virus, as cases around the country continue to climb. More than 1,000 infections have been reported since late October. The resurgence has spread to 21 provinces so far, and has been accompanied by unseasonably cold weather in the country's north, conditions which have helped the virus to thrive.
We still face a complex and stern epidemic prevention and control situation this winter and the next spring. China will continue to adhere to strict epidemic prevention and control measures.
Some authorities have expanded the definition of close contacts, using mobile phone data to track people's location and activities.
Officials here call it space-time overlap, which sounds like something out of science fiction, but it's very simple. If you spend just 10 minutes within a certain radius of a known COVID-19 case, your mobile phone will alert authorities, which means a person can be quarantined even though they haven't come into actual physical contact with an infected person.
Nearly 77% of China's population is fully vaccinated. But while Singapore, Australia and New Zealand have opted to live with the virus, Beijing is sticking to its zero-tolerance strategy. The policy was criticized by virologist Guan Yi on Hong Kong television this week.
All local governments are maintaining this zero-tolerance policy. If we continue to do this, I'm sure our country's economy will one day collapse.
He also raised questions about Chinese vaccines, which have lower protection rates than other vaccines. The Chinese government has dismissed concerns, saying its strategy has kept the virus death toll low. For now, targeted lockdowns and long quarantine periods are commonplace, and the lives and travel plans of millions will continue to be upended at short notice. Katrina Yu, Al Jazeera, Beijing.
The coronavirus pandemic has made it difficult to find jobs for many people across the Philippines, and they are increasingly looking for opportunities abroad. The Philippines imposed one of the world's longest lockdowns when the pandemic broke out, which led to one of the country's worst economic recession in decades. Unemployment is now at 8.9%, its highest so far this year. Thousands of small and medium businesses have also shut down, and communities dependent on tourism are facing greatest difficulties. Al Jazeera's Jamila Ali Dogan reports from Manila on how the Filipinos are being treated.
Hello, good morning.
Matt Bunyi is taking a call from a prospective employer at a shipping company.
Go ahead. Yes, Chief Bunyi, sir. I've been interviewed one company, and then after that, then another company came to me. That's today I came there, the company which is I applied. This is the first time I have been standby with the 9 months.
Matt says he sends his resume to at least 20 companies each week, but he hasn't found any work.
The story of Matt Bunyi is a story that is repeated 1,000 times over. People here tell us there are more and more job applicants here desperate to find a job overseas. They tell us their situation has been worsened by the coronavirus pandemic.
Keith Blancaflor and Darwin Evangelista work for agencies that recruit seafarers, and they keep a waiting list. They say with so few jobs around, it's getting longer. The Philippines imposed one of the world's longest lockdowns when the pandemic broke out. But it led to one of the country's worst economic recessions in decades. Unemployment is now at 8.9%, its highest so far this year. Thousands of small and medium businesses have also shut down, and communities dependent on tourism are facing the greatest difficulties.
Mas marami talagang negosyo magbubukas, no?
There will be an easing of restrictions. And with that, we hope that means an upstart on our economy again. We understand people are not going to agree to be locked down again. So with this reopening, we hope it will be a better Christmas for everyone.
But some analysts say it's not that simple.
Without putting more money in purchasing power in poor families, without more support for micro, small, medium enterprises, I think it will be a long, slow recovery, at least until the end of next year. That will be early, perhaps even until 2023.
Many Filipinos say they've always faced hardship, but the pandemic, coupled with the lack of government assistance, is making it worse. Jamela Lindogan, Al Jazeera, Manila.
And before we end the news, a recap of our main headlines. President Barrow hits the campaign trail with glad tidings for Gambians. EU deploys 16 long-term observers ahead of December polls. NPP give 19 tractors to Kafolo communities to enhance yield. And on the international scene, Biden to visit ports to bid to resolve U.S. shipping crisis. China struggles to contain Delta variants of COVID-19. In Philippines, COVID-19 curbs puts unemployment rate at 8.9% in September. That's all for this edition of the news. Do join us tomorrow for more news. Please stay tuned and enjoy the rest of our programs. Thank you.